This team is one of the newest additions to Genshin Impact. It's the Claymore Queens strategy, and it's one of the most powerful, flexible, efficient, and safest ways to play the game. You can tackle everything in your cozy little bubble. Let's talk about this team. And in addition to that, we also are going to be talking about substitutions to some of the characters if you don't have all the characters for this strategy. And yeah, it is just that good, okay? Now, the first character we're talking about here is going to be Beidou. She's here for a couple of reasons. She's here to proc Superconduct, and she's going to use her Elemental Burst to do that. This Elemental Burst is insane. For 15 seconds, not only do you have Superconduct, lightning bolts flying everywhere, doing a lot of damage because they bounce between enemies, so it's going to allow you to do additional damage while she's not on the battlefield. But on top of that, she's also part of the safety of this team, because for that 15 seconds, you're going to take up to 35%, even at C0, damage reduction while that burst is activated. And on top of that, she has the ability to apply an HP barrier and can counterattack with her E if you have the skill set to do so. The artifact selection that we're looking here for Beidou, we're doing 2-piece Thundering Fury as well as 2-piece Noblesse Oblige. The substats that we're really looking for here, as well as the main stats: energy recharge is a necessity. Her elemental burst costs 80 energy, so you're gonna have to make that sacrifice in your attack percent stance, get that energy recharge stance to really put that power in there. On top of that, you want some additional energy recharge in your substats, and then load in the crit chance and the crit damage like you would with any other DPS character. Weapon selection, if you're just starting the game out, Prototype Archaic will work exactly how you want it to in her build. Attack percent, solid base attack. If you need some energy recharge because you don't have the right substats in your artifacts quite yet, go ahead and look for that Favonius or Sacrificial Greatsword. If you got the big bangers, all the 5-star weapons are very solid. Energy recharge on the Skyward Pride, as well as the big Wolf's Gravestone or the Unforged here. If you have both of those weapons, prioritize putting the Wolf's Gravestone on Beidou, because she can act as a tertiary support and give that attack buff to your entire party as well as your main carry. 2 final weapons to think about here: the Serpent Spine, very solid. If you bought that battle pass, Blackcliff Slasher could be okay as well. Just make sure you have the right crit chance to go ahead and back up the crit damage on it. Now, the second Claymore Queen of the team is going to be none other than Eula. She is your main DPS. She's going to be the one out in the fray the entire time. This is your Protect the Queen and your Protect the Queen strategy, which is the Claymore Queens team. Her goal is to just do a bunch of damage. As far as artifact sets are concerned, 4-piece Pale Flame is going to be exceptionally amazing. They're giving you 50% bonus physical damage as well as 18% attack. Don't worry if you don't have enough well-rolled pieces of Pale Flame yet, because it's a brand new set. Go ahead and use 2 pieces of Pale Flame and 2 pieces of the Bloodstain set. All you're sacrificing is that 18% attack, and you're going to have that 50% physical damage all of the time. So if you're bad with keeping these stacks up, bad swapping around, that is the set that you want to go for, 2 of each. Main stats and substats, we are definitely going and aiming for damage here on this character. Cryo Goblet, aiming for a bunch of crit chance, crit damage like you would with any other damage dealer. In attack percent secondary, get at least 50-60% crit chance before you start going over the 200% crit damage mark on this character. Weapon selection is going to look very similar to our girl Beidou. Prototype Archaic is a knockout free-to-play weapon, as is the none other than the Snow Tombed Star Silver. Big physical damage, nice proc, decent base attack. If you're a battle pass buyer, Serpent Spine sticks its head out and says, "I rule supreme" as the 4-star weapon of choice. But I'm pretty sure you guys already knew how good that weapon was, especially if you've been subscribed to the channel. If not, maybe it's time to do so for more information like this. Lithic Blade could be another option for either Beidou or Eula. Here you are going to have a couple characters from leeway in your party, especially if it's a high refinement rank weapon. Bonus crit rate and attack percent as your ability, exceptionally powerful. Also, it goes without saying, 5-star weapons here, very strong. Specifically, we're looking for the Unforged and the Wolf's Gravestone. Those are both 2 fantastic weapons that we already covered on Beidou. The first of 2 of our possible backbones for the party is going to be none other than your boy Zhongli. He is here for one big reason: giant HP barriers. This man has the biggest shield in the game. Secondary to that, he's going to be able to do a nice amount of damage with his Elemental Burst, on top of petrifying opponents, making your team just that much more sustaining, and people just can't damage you. You have two shielders now, Zhongli with his big shields, Beidou with the little shields. Now, the artifact set we're going to be running on Zhongli is none other than 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. This is specifically here to increase a little bit of damage on his elemental burst, but also for that 20% attack buff where you can unleash all of your character's big damage skills. Eula elemental burst, Beidou elemental burst, all of that good stuff will be able to fall underneath his 12-second buff from the Noblesse Oblige set. The stats that we're looking for here, if you're looking for big HP barriers, HP percent in all of the things. However, the way I run him, I go HP percent Sands, Geo percent Goblet, and then I go for a crit chance or crit damage circlet. Like everyone else, he's going to be like a sub DPS character, so you're going to want that crit chance, you're going to want that crit damage, so you can do that big damage with your Zhongli when he comes out for his 12 seconds of buffs and that little bit of elemental burst cooldown in his time to shine there. Weapon selections, he doesn't need anything crazy. Obviously, if you have 5-star weapons, those are going to be good, but some 4-star weapons that do stand out for this build, if you do have him here, you have options like the Lithic Spear, just like we talked about. There's a couple of leeway characters in this party, Zhongli being one of them. Free attack percent, free crit rate percent, that's a fantastic weapon. He doesn't need that much energy recharge, but if you're finding that you're just not getting enough, even though his only costs 40, you can throw an energy recharge weapon into this build. Another weapon that you can use here is the 3-star Black Tassel for a bunch of HP. That is going to be a fantastic addition while lowering his damage, increasing how tanky you are with his shields up. The final character in this 4-man party is going to be Albedo. He is here for a couple of reasons. Now, primarily, this is going to be an E-centric build, a lot of defense, and a lot of free AoE damage while you're standing in his Solar Isotomo field, and we're going to abuse this with his artifact set. And you've guessed it, it's going to be none other than the new Tenacity of the Millisect set. This set is insane. Now, the 2-piece here does nothing for Albedo or his build, 20% HP. We don't care about that, but what we do care about is the 4-piece. Anytime his Solar Isotoma detonates while he's on the field or off the field, your entire party gets 20% attack and 30% shield strength. Stats for your Tenacity of the Millisect set on Albedo, you're going defense percent Sands, Geo percent Goblet, and then your circlets depend on your substats for your other crit chance or crit damage. Like everyone else, get as much as possible. Don't go too ham through the roof on your crit damage until you're like 50-60% crit rate minimally. Luckily, with the weapon we're going to be using on him, that won't be that hard. Now, his weapon is going to be none other than the Harbinger of the Dawn. If you're going for an E-base build, this weapon is absolutely insane because you don't care about how much attack percent Albedo has. You care about your crit rate, your defense, and your crit damage percent. You're always going to be protected by a giant Zhongli shield in this party, and this weapon has 46% crit damage and 28% crit rate. We don't care about that 401 attack. We care about the crit rate and the crit damage from this weapon, and that is exactly what we're using on Albedo for this reason. I hear you. I don't have 3 5-stars to put in the same party. Don't worry, there's 2 standout 4-stars that are going to allow you to accomplish a lot of the same things that Zhongli and Albedo accomplish in this party. Now, the first one is going to be replacing Zhongli, and it's going to be none other than Diona. We've covered her exclusively in just a ton on this channel. She's been covered a million times. She's one of my favorite 4-star characters in the game, and she's going to be your big shielder if you don't have Zhongli. And just the way you built Zhongli, she's going to be using the same artifact setup, ×4 Noblesse Oblige. You might want to get a little bit of energy recharge on her. That's okay. Go ahead and use the Sacrificial Bow, the Favonius Bow, and it's going to be a good time for your party. If you want more information on the Turbo Diona build, I'll have that link down in the description for you. We put that out a while back when 1.5 first came out, and man, that build is a magnifique. I think I said that. I think I said that wrong. The other character you run in your party instead of Albedo is going to be Fischl. This is because she's going to take hold of his roles off the map sub DPS character. She can also wear the Tenacity of the Millisect set. Just like Albedo, the 20% HP doesn't do anything for her, but Oz is going to be there on the field, constantly proccing that 20% attack for your whole party and that 30% shield strength, allowing your shields from Diona or Zhongli, if you still have him and are using him, to last that much longer. The third character that you can put in here as a substitute is none other than your boy Bennett. Elemental Burst is why he's here. Heals and then giant attack buff that lasts long enough for you to drop all of your elemental bursts and do your big damage within that 12-second duration. You guys know about Bennett. We don't need to go into a grand amount of detail for him. When we're putting this all together, what does this team do? Why is it so strong? You have super conduct between your electro character in Beidou as well as your cryo character in your friendly neighborhood Eula. You also have 20% of both cryo and physical resist down from Eula herself, that goes up to 25%, and 20% on top of that from Zhongli, which gives you a grand total of 85% physical down and 45% cryo down, which does help out. On top of that, though, you are also going to have Zhongli's giant shields in conjunction with Eula's defense percent increases from her Grimheart stacks. But that's not all. Remember, Beidou not only is your superconductor, but during your elemental burst, you get 35% damage reduction. And on top of that, Albedo, because he's wearing the Millicet set, is giving you 30% more shield strength, which if you are using the Unforged with all of this together, you have 65% shield strength that isn't even factoring in the extra shield strength you get from getting attacked while Zhongli has his shield on. So you can reach an absurd amount of shield strength with bonus defense and straight up damage reduction, all the while Albedo and Beidou are doing damage while off the field. And if someone's close to Zhongli Pillar, they're getting a hit too. And your Eula is just smacking people around. Now we talked about the substitutions, which you can also do a lot of things. You don't have Albedo, you have Fischl there using Tenacity set and hitting people with Oz. You don't have Zhongli there, you have Diona's giant barriers, which is also going to give you that 15% crit increase because you now have 2 cryo characters in the party. All in all, this is one of my favorite builds to run team-wise in Genshin. I've used this against nearly everything in the game, and it is as face roll as you can get it. Whether you're C0 on every character or C6 in every character, this team is mwah. And with the electro buffs and elemental reactions related to electro getting buffed in the future, tentatively, it could get better, even more so than this. So if you guys like this stuff, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, come back for more Genshin videos 5 to 6 times a week, always covering cool stuff. If you like the new editing style, let me know about that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.